Let's move on to the business news on the programme for you. Asian shares were mostly higher, buoyed by further signs of recovery in China's manufacturing sector. Surveys showing manufacturing and domestic demand holding up there, and that, of course, being reflected. You can see some quite large rises there, in fact, on the Nikkei and the Shanghai Composite as well. Well, earlier we spoke to market analyst at Axi, Stephen Innes in Bangkok. He was asked more about where this positive start is coming from.
It's obviously China again. It seems that all roads in Asia lead through Beijing, and that's where the market momentum is coming from. The great PMI data that we saw this morning has contributed to a rebound in stocks. Looks like they're sort of ignoring the spread of COVID in the West and even the election risk to a great deal, because the polls are really convincingly showing a Biden win, and this is going to be viewed favorably for Asia stocks, and I think that's the contributing factors today.
Stephen Innes there. Well, when it comes to COVID-19, Spain is one of the countries in the Eurozone that has been hardest hit, partly because the country's economy, which just relies so heavily on tourists. Cases of the virus continuing to rise in the country and more restrictions looming. Well, things look like getting worse. Already, though, food banks in Spain say they're seeing a whole new clientele in need. Keris Garland reports.
This food bank in Madrid used to feed about 400 people a month, but since the coronavirus pandemic, more than 3,000 vulnerable people are coming each day. One of them is this mother of 3 children. She says the situation is so tense, her 7-year-old daughter offered her money from her piggy bank.
verdad que mira, nuestro futuro lo único que queremos es un trabajo estable, vivir en condiciones, no vivir en la situación en la que estamos, sin miedo al va a venir la policía, me va a echar, o me va a llegar una notificación de juicio para decirme qué día y qué hora me van a echar.
Spain's GDP saw a record rise of 16.7% between July and September, but it still puts economic output at 9.4% below pre-pandemic levels. The figures reflect Spain's dependence on the ravaged tourism sector, which accounts for 15% of the economy, more than any Eurozone country. For Conrado Jimenez, head of the Madrina Food Bank, his daily visitors are proof poverty has taken a new profile.
Es gente que son autónomos, que son empresarias, que son presentadoras de televisión, que es gente que está metida en circo, en ocio, tiempo libre. Preveemos que de 3 a 6 meses, si esto continúa así, va a haber un estallido social.
The jump in Spain's third quarter output is being put down to relaxed coronavirus restrictions and the government's furlough scheme. The rebound is set to be short-lived, though, with the country facing a new round of anti-COVID measures. Spain is due to receive 140 billion euros in grants and loans from an EU recovery fund, the most of any country after Italy.